September 10th, 2025. Just a few weeks have passed since that tragic day in Utah. Charlie Kirk's sudden loss left a huge void in the American conservative movement. He left behind not only a wife, 2 children, and millions of followers, but also a $500 million organization. Turning Point USA's new CEO, Erika Kirk, now stands at the helm of this massive structure built over 13 years. Can this organization survive without Charlie Kirk? To find the answer to this question, let's first look at the facts we have. In her first official statement on September 15th, Erika Kirk said, "Charlie's legacy doesn't belong to just one person. He was the beginning of a movement, and this movement will continue." While these words seem determined, information leaked from sources within the organization shows that the situation is not that simple. Looking at Turning Point USA's current numbers, we understand what a great legacy Charlie Kirk left behind. Active chapters on more than 2,500 campuses, an annual budget exceeding $100 million, a total of 50 million followers on social media, and more than 250 full-time employees. These numbers are impressive, but Charlie Kirk was not only the founder, but also the face, voice, and visionary leader of the organization. Don't forget to take 2 minutes to subscribe to our Kirk Unfiltered channel. You can only find such in-depth analyses here. Who is Erika Kirk? She married Charlie Kirk in 2021 and focused more on protecting her private life. Arizona Christian University graduate, previously worked in media and public relations. She volunteered at Turning Point before marrying Charlie. Mother of 2 children and more active on traditional family values issues. However, there's a big difference between being a CEO and volunteering. According to information we received from sources within the organization, it seems difficult for Erika Kirk to completely fill Charlie's charismatic leadership. Charlie Kirk was a natural orator and media personality. These talents are not easily transferable. After Charlie Kirk's death, significant administrative changes occurred in the organization. Erika Kirk became CEO and chairman. Tyler Bowyer was appointed as operations director. An advisory board consisting of Charlie Kirk's close colleagues was formed, and the authority of regional directors was increased. These structural changes seem aimed at reducing the organization's dependence on a single person. There are advantages. Charismatic leadership deficit can be compensated, different perspectives can be included, sustainability can increase. But there are also risks. Decision-making processes may slow down. Vision unity may become difficult. Regarding the financial situation, the organization's financial picture became critical after Charlie Kirk's death. According to information leaked from inside, 30% of major donors are taking a wait-and-see attitude. There's a 15% decrease in monthly small donations. However, there's also a temporary increase in sympathetic donations. Turning Point USA's strongest aspect was campus organization. Charlie Kirk's culture war rhetoric was a very effective tool in mobilizing youth. There are currently active chapters on 2,500 campuses, but there has been a 20% change in chapter leaders in the new term. Activity decline is observed at some universities. There are signs that Erika Kirk's campus strategy is differentiating from Charlie's. Less confrontational approach, family values-focused messages, and special focus on female students. New programs such as the Future Moms Initiative and Faith and Freedom campus events have been launched. Media strategy is also changing. Charlie Kirk's daily podcast, The Charlie Kirk Show, reached millions of listeners. He had 6.1 million Twitter followers, 2.8 million YouTube subscribers, and 500,000 daily podcast listeners. Erika Kirk is managing this legacy differently. The podcast format has been changed to Turning Point Conversations. Social media accounts are being converted to organizational accounts. Different speakers are being rotated. More focus on women's perspective, family and children's issues. Looking at political influence, Charlie Kirk had very strong ties with the Trump administration and the Republican Party. Direct communication, regular meetings with Congress members, advisory role in the White House, important speeches at events like CPAC. How these relationships will develop during the Erika Kirk era is still unclear. A more distant political stance, a principle-based approach rather than party politics, and efforts to build strong ties with female politicians are being observed. Some Republican leaders state that they have not yet been able to establish close relationships with Erika Kirk. Personnel movements are taking place within the organization. The content director, 2 regional coordinators, and 3 people from the social media team left. New arrivals include an experienced PR specialist, former campaign manager, and the search for a CFO continues. There are rival organizations trying to take advantage of Turning Point USA's weak period. Students for Liberty, Young Americans for Freedom, and college Republicans, federations are trying to turn this situation into an opportunity. They are targeting those who love Charlie Kirk's harsh rhetoric. Erika Kirk launched a unity-themed campaign against this situation. The message is clear. Charlie's legacy will not be fragmented, it will continue by strengthening. There has not yet been a major loss of personnel or chapters, but the coming periods will be critical. According to experts' evaluations, there are 3 basic scenarios. In the optimistic scenario, Erika Kirk's leadership stabilizes, the differentiating message reaches new audiences, the financial situation improves, and the organization becomes sustainable. In the pessimistic scenario, the lack of charismatic leadership continues, the financial crisis deepens, rival organizations gain strength, and Turning Point loses its importance. In the third scenario, the organization undergoes radical change, adopts a completely different mission, and breaks away from Charlie Kirk's legacy. Looking at historical examples, organizations that lost their founders have mixed experiences. Heritage Foundation made a successful transition after Edwin Faulkner. AIPAC maintained continuity during leadership changes. National Rifle Association survived despite multiple crises. On the other hand, Moral Majority collapsed after Jerry Falwell. Tea Party patriots experienced leadership crises. Common lessons from these examples are: institutional structure is more important than personal charisma, financial sustainability is critical, message consistency is necessary, and new generation leadership planning is essential. Turning Point USA's advantage is that since Charlie Kirk died at a young age, the organization has not yet fully matured. This also means being more open to change. Looking at the current early signs, the organization is standing. There are financial difficulties, but not at a critical level. Staff morale is low but stable. Campus activities continue. However, the real test will come in the next 6 months. The main questions are: can Erika Kirk carry this responsibility? Can Turning Point USA sustain Charlie's vision without Charlie? Can the American conservative youth movement overcome this transition? Let's examine the challenges facing Erika Kirk in more detail. According to what we learned from sources within the organization, a great shock was experienced in the first weeks after Charlie Kirk's sudden loss. Many of the 250 full-time employees started looking for alternative jobs because they couldn't be sure about the future. This situation also brings the risk of losing institutional memory. The situation is even more complex for Charlie Kirk's close colleagues. These people who have been implementing Charlie's vision for 13 years are now trying to adapt to a completely different leadership style. According to information we received from inside, some department managers expressed their concerns about Erika Kirk's inexperience. Let's look at financial issues in more depth. A large part of Turning Point USA's annual $100 million budget was based on Charlie Kirk's personal brand value. His speaking fees, book sales, and media deals constituted an important part of the organization's revenue streams. Now this revenue stream has stopped. The reactions of major donors are diversifying. Some want to give Erika Kirk a chance, while others think the organization cannot create the same impact without Charlie Kirk. Especially donors from the technology sector question Erika Kirk's knowledge about digital media. Let's look more closely at changes in campus organization. Charlie Kirk's campus events were usually tense, resulting in protests and counter-demonstrations. This situation actually served as a kind of free advertising for the organization. Media attention increased, videos went viral, follower numbers rose. Erika Kirk's softer approach is changing this dynamic. Events are calmer, but media attention is also decreasing. This situation may negatively affect the organization's visibility. The buzzing factor is very important in youth movements. People want to participate in exciting, dynamic movements. The effects of changes in media strategy cannot yet be fully measured. The Charlie Kirk Show was not just a podcast, but also an agenda-setting tool. Charlie Kirk's comments would resonate widely in conservative media, sometimes spilling over into mainstream media. Erika Kirk's Turning Point Conversations format may be softer, less political, but also less effective. The reactions of social media followers are also noteworthy. There is no noticeable decrease in the number of followers of Charlie Kirk's Twitter account, but engagement rates have decreased. People continue to follow the account, but are not as actively sharing or commenting as before. Looking at the political climate in Washington, the void created by Charlie Kirk's sudden loss is very clear. He was one of the rare figures who could communicate directly with Trump. Turning Point USA's influence in the White House was largely based on these personal relationships. Erika Kirk's efforts to expand her political networks are not yet bearing fruit. The connections she has established with Republican female politicians are promising, but it will take time to reach the level of influence that Charlie Kirk had. Building trust in the political arena is a process that takes years. Let's look at rival organizations' moves in more detail. Students for Liberty launched an aggressive membership recruitment campaign on campuses immediately after Charlie Kirk's death. With the slogan, "The fire of freedom will not be extinguished," they are targeting activists who broke away from Turning Point. Young Americans for Freedom is following a different strategy. They market Charlie Kirk's harsh rhetoric as real conservatism and characterize Erika Kirk's approach as diluted conservatism. This messaging targets Turning Point's most militant base. College Republicans federations are trying to gain advantage at the local level. They are trying to attract young people's attention by organizing alternative events on campuses where Turning Point is strong. Erika Kirk's Unity campaign was developed against these attacks, but it is still unclear how effective it will be. It is important to keep morale high within the organization, but concrete steps must also be taken against external threats. From a long-term sustainability perspective, the biggest risk facing Turning Point USA is identity confusion. Charlie Kirk's aggressive, confrontational style was so intertwined with the organization's DNA that without him, the organization cannot fully define what it represents. Erika Kirk's family values-focused approach seems reasonable, but it is unclear how attractive this new identity will be among young people. Youth movements are usually fed by rebellious anti-system energy. Erika Kirk's more moderate rhetoric risks losing this energy. Technological infrastructure is also an important factor. Charlie Kirk's understanding of digital media played a critical role in the organization's growth. YouTube algorithms, Twitter engagement strategies, podcast distribution networks, all of these were optimized with Charlie Kirk's personal brand. Erika Kirk's lack of the same expertise in this area, yet may negatively affect the organization's digital reach. Considering the importance of social media platforms in reaching young audiences, this deficiency could be critical. Looking at the international dimension, Charlie Kirk's connections with conservative movements in Europe are also at risk. Relationships with leaders like Viktor Orban and Matteo Salvini were based on personal foundations. It is unclear whether Erika Kirk can maintain this network. In conclusion, Turning Point USA's future will be shaped in the next 12 to 18 months. The steps Erika Kirk takes during this critical period will determine the organization's next 10 years. Will Charlie Kirk's legacy be preserved, or will a completely new page be opened? Time will give the answer to this question.